Although arguably more synonymous within the realm of computer keyboards, speakers and webcams, Logitech have actually been at the forefront of the broadcasting and podcasting industry for quite some time. Now, up until now, the only dynamic microphone offering from the company was the Blue Yeti series, hence the Blue Sona. Let's Logitech a look, shall we? Thanks for checking out Radio.co on YouTube. If you want to see more kit reviews, live webinars, and handy broadcasting tips, then give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click the bell icon. Cool, well, here we go, the Logitech Blue Sona, or rather, here you go, it's right in front of my face here. As you can see, it's two different colours. We've got the black model and the white model. Logitech were kind enough to send us both. And I was kind enough to set up the white one here because I think it's just a little bit different. We do an awful lot of black things. I must say I did like the universal audio microphone we did not too long ago because it was a white design. So here we go. I mean, this one's got a bit more of a, as Rowan would quote, a Star Wars Stormtrooper blaster aesthetic to it, which I don't think is a particularly bad thing. I think it's a really nice, gorgeous little microphone here. It also swivels round. Not going to swivel it too much because obviously it's plugged in. And it's also a front-facing microphone. It was very specific in their briefs that Logitech was saying, you don't want to use this microphone talking slightly to the side, which is something, in particular if you've got an overly sensitive dynamic microphone like my Shure SM7B, that is something that I do necessarily want to do. But if I even move just a little bit, you can see, here rather, it doesn't work terribly well. So perfectly an impressive start already to just a front-facing microphone that isn't seemingly pop and plosive, unless I'm doing them on purpose, of course. But there's no surprise here in unveiling what is in the white box because it's right here in all its glory. So we're going to unbox the black one here just to show you what is inside. It's a very minimalist box and not much inside it, but hey, we just want a microphone that plugs in and it's ready to rock and roll. So let's move this one to the side, and here we go with the black Blue Sona microphone. Let's have a look what's inside. So Raise Your Voice, the Blue Sona, one of their marketing ploys for it, because they really want to elevate the sound of your voice and the clarity and the professionalism, of course. It's not just all about volume here. Let's unearth this little flap here. What we got? Not much, but as I say, that's not all we need. So it tells you a couple of instructions here. What you're wanting to do is obviously plug it in, swivel it on, plug it in, and you're ready to rock and roll. Simple instructions, really. But if you take it out, that's the actual microphone itself. There you go. Maybe, I guess this could be a Rebel Alliance sort of model. So wherever you find yourself on the spectrum of fandom when it comes to Star Wars, of which side you would enjoy being on most, that might sway your decision on which colour to get. But here we go. This is the actual microphone itself, the black one. And again, even though it's just an all black, I think this is a beautiful microphone. It's lovely to hold, even with this protective sort of cellophane on it. It's a gorgeous microphone. I'll show you the swivel action here. Hey, look at that. There's something very aesthetically pleasing. There's just enough room for it to go around, and you're looking at that going, oh, that is gorgeous. There we go. So that is the microphone itself, and the knob there will also twist how much this rotates as well, the speed of it and the velocity of it, I guess. But that is your Blue Sona microphone here. And as for anything else that's in the box, there isn't a lot really. There is, of course, the adapter here to plug it into, or rather screw it into whatever boom arm, mic stand you're using. We're using a Blue Compass, a boom arm anyway, so it already had attached to it what we needed. But if you are using anything different, then you've got two different sides to the adapter that you might want to use. And then, of course, as well, you've got an additional foam shield, or muff, as we sometimes call it. And this is a delightful, look at that delightful red. I mean, it will unfortunately clash quite heavily, I think, with my with my jumper, so I'm not going to put that on. But yeah, this will really, really spruce up how it looks. And this is really, really simple to come off. There we go. Nice and easy, it will be. And we can just pop it back on, simple as that. These retail at about $350, £350, I guess, depending on where you get it from. And you might be thinking, for a microphone, I'm used to more studio house brand names, as I mentioned, Shure is the microphone that I will use, and I'll mention that a lot in my review going forward. But you think, why do I want to spend £350 on a Blue microphone? Well, first of all, inside the Blue Sona microphone is their Clear Amp Active preamp, the star of the show, if you will. Now, their inbuilt ClearAmp technology delivers strong 25 decibels additional gain for exceptional sound quality. And supposedly, you'll not need to use an external preamp when using it, unlike the typical sensitive dynamic microphones I'm sure we're all used to using. Also inside of this, you've got your supercardioid pattern and advanced mic capsule design with 2 diaphragms. Now, the main diaphragm is tuned by Blues audio engineers for the ultimate broadcaster sound, whatever that means, whilst the second passive diaphragm is set in reverse to absorb and minimize noise and vibration. Now, a great thing that we heard from the creators of the Blue Sona anyway before this was that, that typical design, they've actually flipped it, they've literally reversed it so it's working in the way that it wouldn't, I guess, normally be used until now. So inside of this is a pretty innovative design, so we'll hear a little bit later what results it gets. I guess it's just a poetic round way of saying, that the microphone will concentrate on your voice without picking up both explosive and subtle background atmosphere to then replicate the natural tone of your speaking voice, I guess. Now, the capsule itself is mounted in a cage specially designed to remove any electromagnetic noise from computer monitors or lighting devices. Now, this in particular is especially interesting coming from a brand which has aligned very strongly with streamers in recent years. So should you set up a big broadcasting rig or, even just some video and lighting gear for your simultaneous streaming, you shouldn't be picking up any interference or buzzing from the voltage you're using or the energy bill, of course, you're racking up. And, something like that is often overlooked. You've got your phones, cameras, could have several screens, consoles, if you're a video streamer. So ensuring that there's no interference and noises coming from any of those devices is particularly useful. Okay, so of course I've been speaking to it for the last 10 minutes, maybe something like that, but I've also been testing it a lot at home during calls or doing some podcasts. And the staggering thing to really talk about, first of all, is that main event, that headliner of features in here, that built-in preamp, which is incredible. It's not necessarily going to give you any clues to how good it is just from the sounds of it. But if you look at your desk or, the Rodecaster Pro 2, if I'm looking at that, a couple of little things which will really impress you. Now, right now, and indeed during testing, I had the dial positioned about 65% on the Rodecaster Pro 2 here, which is typically where my microphone of choice, which is the Shure SM7B, that's where that would be sitting if I was using an external preamp. Because as we all know, Shure SM7B, and indeed most dynamic microphones on the market, in fact, probably all of them, they are incredibly sensitive. So because of that, the gain needs to be dialed almost all the way up, 95% I'd say up on the dial. Now, I knew this going into buying that microphone, that having an external preamp. In particular, I got the FET head, a cloud lifter is another one you may be aware of. And to really get the most out of a microphone like that, you need to connect it to something like that, which indeed I did. And that enabled me to position it to 65% on the dial, which again, if I wanted to boost the volume of my sound, no problem. I've got 35% of gain left to go up. When you're using 95%, it's either perfect or, you're peaking and it's distorted and it's awful. Now, without using a single thing, I'm already at 65% on this dial because of this built-in preamp, which means that, not only does it allow me a lot of freedom, a lot of customizability to really get the sound of my voice perfectly. I can increase it, decrease it if I want to. But it means ultimately that I'm purchasing a $350 microphone without the need of then spending a further $100, $150 on a external preamp like FET head, cloud lifter, like the Dynamite. That is, so from that perspective already, this microphone is an incredibly smart investment. Another thing, I find the noise cancellation of this microphone is fantastic. And that's actually the reason why, me and Rowan, behind the cameras, we were actually talking about this just before recording, do I want to use this microphone in the booths, that you've seen us use in the office for the videos of the past. And the reason I don't want to is because of the fantastic noise cancellation built into this microphone, because as you are aware, where we are filming, we are in a single glazed office in the centre of Manchester. There's always roadworks, contractors, buses, people shouting, music playing more often than you'd care to admit. It's a noisy atmosphere, but I feel even if Rowan was to make some noise in the background, like cough or type something, you know, that noise is not going to come through on this microphone. So here we are in the busy office place. It looks like I'm a reporter for Northwest Tonight, but there's a kind of a lot going on. There's a lot of talking, a lot of crinkling, a lot of noises. There's a dog barking somewhere. You might be able to also hear a tram and some roadworks. It's usually what happens every darn time we try and film something on Radio.co. But yeah, I just feel that even though there is obviously a lot of noise going in the background, I can't deny it's coming through my headphones, but there's so much clarity and definition on my voice in this workplace that, you know, it doesn't matter if someone's scoffing an apple or watching a video about their favourite dogs, even just chatting or just watching videos. I feel that if I was reporting on the street or, if inside based, I don't need that booth that you've seen us use. I can just use something that's pretty open, like here, or in the other room there we do film most of the videos here. One thing I didn't actually touch on when I was showing off the microphone, mainly because I kind of forgot about it, but that's because it's so delightfully hidden, is the levels of customization that you can have. Now, if you know me, or rather, the videos that I do, you'll know that I really don't care for presets and general customization options at best anyway, because I feel that the Shure SM7B, its default setting fits me perfectly. I feel any other presets are programmed by people who don't do the broadcasting, it's all computer generated. And I just feel like even, if you even asking someone's opinion on what a preset should sound like, that's not tailored to your voice, that's tailored to that person, that person's pair of eyes, that person's vocals. But I must say, at least one of the presets on here I think works very, very well. Now, if you're thinking, where on earth do I find these little customization options? You find them on this little flap here. It's magnetic, and it's not going to fall off. There we go. Whoa, gotta look at that. But the options that you've got here is you have your presence boost, or gain boost, and also you got the bass preset as well. So using these, I found that they didn't always tailor to my voice. I feel my voice is particularly bassy enough. So if I just switch it on, I feel, and I carry on talking, I feel there's not actually that much of a difference between me turning it on and off. So I feel with me, I guess, having more of a bassy presence in my voice already, changing it is, it's really not bringing anything to the party. This one, on the other hand, the presence booster, again, something else I wouldn't normally use. I would just leave it as it is. But when I was finding me using it, so if I've just turned it off here, because I've been using it while it's been on, and I feel with it off now, I think my voice sounds a little duller, a little flatter. There's a lack of punch in it. Whereas if I turn it back on, you'll notice that I guess in the mids of my voice, it has actually elevated it quite a lot. Very much more noticeable than the bass presence. So again, if I just turn this off, and so this is how me talking with it on. If I turn it on, here we go, turn it off, turning it back on, like so. And I feel like just immediately it just makes my voice sound a lot more positive. So the company's PR and marketing teams have been really trying to drive home the notion of a perfected sound from a reputable brand. And I can confidently say that they have absolutely knocked this out of the park. The Blue Sona is a formidable microphone that honestly ranks higher than any of the microphones I've reviewed in years. This is not only perfected sound from a reputable brand, it's an innovative revolution preparing to take over the internet radio, broadcasting, and streaming landscape. But again, bears repeating, that's just what I think. I would love to hear your particular thoughts on the microphones that you are currently using or hope to use. Have you used the Blue Sona microphone? Do you have different thoughts to me? Do you currently have one of the older models, the Blue Yeti or the Blue Baby Bottles I showed earlier? Are you looking to upgrade your Blue microphone to something like this? Please let me know. That's via studio@radio.co if you want to send me an email. And until next time, happy broadcasting. And just before you go, how would you like to launch your very own online radio station? Surprisingly, it's a lot simpler than you may think. And the absolute best way to get started is by chatting to